Hi, everyone. I wanted to welcome you to American History. I'm going to go over kind of what Canvas looks like for this. I'm really bummed out that we can't have this class together. The first week or two, hopefully not any longer, will be online, and the rest will be able to meet in class. So on the Canvas page, you'll see that the main textbook that we're going to use for this class is here. The syllabus is here, and we're going to use crash course videos to help supplement some of the stuff you guys are learning. In each module, you have class slides, which usually I would use to go through with you in class. You'll have a quiz, and this is the actual quiz. This is where you submit your answers to the quiz. And then you have some supplemental kind of resources here. You have a chart that compares English, French, and Spanish colonization. Here you have some primary resources from Columbus. And then here you have a discussion. And every week it kind of looks like that. So let's jump over to the syllabus. Over here, you guys can see the class meets every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 to 12:30. Okay, so twice a week. This class, it's going to really just cover bits about American democracy, the development of the United States, just its early beginnings, some important eras, people. You guys can read all this stuff on your own time. The main book we're going to use is this one here, United States History. It's actually an advanced placement like review test, so it's really concise, covers the most important things. We aren't going to cover every single one of these chapters. We're going to kind of hop around to the more, I guess, significant parts of history. So that's why I have these crash course videos. There's 48 crash course videos that they made about U.S. history, and that'll help kind of fill in the gaps and also support some of the stuff you guys are learning about from the textbook. At the end of every chapter, there's kind of primary sources that give you actual like journal entries and other documents or whatnot that are related to what we read. And that'll be more related to your kind of discussion forums. But you guys can see here that there'll be exams. There'll be a midterm exam where you're going to write an essay. I'll give you more information on that later. A decade presentation where you actually go through a decade from the last 100 years of American history and present to the class in a group. This is the breakdown here. You'll have reading quizzes will be worth 15%. The classroom participation will be 10%. Assignments will be 25%. Midterm essay will be 20%. And the final exam, which is your presentation, will be 30%. Academic integrity is important. Do it. Read this. It's important for college. It's a really serious thing. Here you can kind of see the outline of topics. We're going to talk about exploration, discovery, settlement, and then colonial America the first week. The second week, we'll get into the American Revolution, the Confederation, the Constitution. The third week, we'll talk about the Jefferson and nationalism, economic development, getting into the 1800s. We'll talk about sectionalism and kind of the reform of society and culture that led to the Civil War, the Reconstruction, Industrial Revolution, and then you guys will take over with your decade presentations. It's really important that you come to class having read everything in the readings prior to class column. So here you can see, read one chapter of the AP US history book, watch the first two crash course videos, and then look at the supplemental resources. After class, which, being online, we won't really have much of a class. It'll be more on your own. I'm going to have you guys read those primary sources and then answer the online discussion forum that goes with that. The initial posts are always due on Friday, and there's specific directions about, the prompts and the page and the word count and whatnot on Canvas. So make sure you look at that. And then the replies are always due on Sunday for this class. Okay. You can I really encourage you to go through the contents and the different sections to see how this book is organized. It's pretty concise. Make sure that for the quizzes, you guys read this whole chapter and take good notes on it. Because when we come back together in person, you're not going to be able to use this book for your quiz. So you should get in the habit of doing that now. So, read through it, take good notes. When you go to take the quiz, only spend about, 20 minutes or so on it. Don't spend any longer than that. These are difficult quizzes, so I don't expect you guys to do very well on the first few as you get the hang of like the questions and how to find the answers in the readings and whatnot. But when you come over here, you can see like the quiz. Here's an example of what a quiz will look like. It's they're all 10 questions, multiple choice, okay? But some of them are main ideas, some of them are for more details. When you go through and answer the questions for that, just come over here and just submit your answers here. Otherwise, I won't know what you put. Okay, so number 1, what? A, B, C, what did you get? And then here's the discussion forum. So we'll be using these throughout both the online and the in-person. Those will continue. Those are a great way to just get some critical thinking and discussion going, diving deeper. I did link the slides that I normally use. The slides really just cover some of the more key ideas of that era or that chapter, and it also provides some discussion questions. So I encourage you guys to read through first the chapter, then watch the Crash Course Kids, or you can do it the other way around if that's how you want to do that. And then before you get into the primary sources, go through this, okay? Look at some of the, the graphics, look at some of the key kind of highlights, and there's a lot of discussion questions. So I encourage you to go through this PowerPoint with 2, 3, 4 people. There's not really any accountability for that. So if you want to, do better on the discussion, do better on the quizzes, then I definitely suggest going through this. Just take 30 minutes, go through it. You can take that as your class time with another student. And then, of course, if you have any questions, you can follow up with me or your classmates. And then at the end, it has a little bit about what your homework is, okay? So make sure that you do that. You do the videos, you do the reading, you look through this, and then you can take the quiz, okay? So hopefully by that point, you're fully prepared for doing well in the quiz. And then, of course, after you take the quiz, after you go through this with someone, you can go through the primary sources and the discussion. Sometimes you'll have a discussion, sometimes you'll have an essay. It just depends on what we're going through that week, okay? But all of that is already outlined in the syllabus. Every assignment you're going to do is outlined in the syllabus. It's also already outlined on Canvas. So feel free to go through that. You can see week 1, this is for Tuesday, this is for Thursday. 1.2 is always on Thursday. 0.1 is always the Tuesday class. Okay, so go through, read the syllabus on your own. We will meet together on Tuesday at 11 o'clock. So please make sure that you watch this video before our first class at Tuesday, 11 o'clock. I'll be there to answer any questions you have about content or the breakdown of the class and whatnot. We probably won't go over too much of the content during that time because I want you guys to be able to have plenty of time to get the other stuff done and go through the content on your own time. But please read chapter 1 before class. Watch the first 2 crash course video. You can click here. It has the whole playlist, and on the syllabus, it tells you exactly which crash course. CC means crash course. It tells you exactly which ones to watch, okay? And those all correspond with the chapter that you're reading. And you can see we're skipping chapter 2, we're skipping chapter 4. If you want to read those, that's fine. It's not required for this class. But the quizzes are pretty much the content comes from the chapter reading. So make sure that's where you put your focus when it comes to note taking so that you can do well on those. Quizzes are just a part of life. I don't particularly like them, but I know they're important for getting you ready for college. So we're going to have them in this class, okay? And like I said, don't spend an hour taking it. Don't have it open while you're reading your book because then you won't actually prepare yourself and you won't know how you need to get better when it comes to these type of reading quizzes, which your professors in college will love all too much. Okay? If you have any questions, please let me know. Have those questions ready for Tuesday morning when we meet at 11 o'clock. This is just a very brief overview of what kind of assignments and stuff you're going to have for this class. Hopefully it was helpful. Yeah, so make sure you do all of these kind of things You don't necessarily have to have the quiz done by Tuesday when we meet, but if you want to do it before we meet, that's fine. See you guys at Tuesday at 11. Bye. Let's see.